Today you should be on page 114. We're going to be going over some guided practice based on what we did yesterday. So while you're finding that page, to remind you, yesterday we talked about multiplicative inverses. And multiplicative inverses is where you have a fraction, such as 2/3, and the multiplicative inverse would be that flipped over 3/2. When you multiply two multiplicative inverses together, it is always going to equal 1. This is what we learned yesterday, and today we're going to use it to help us solve some equations. So let's go ahead and start with problem number 1. We've got 60 equals 3/4 p. Now, I know that I don't want to know what 3/4 p is. I want this to just be 1p. So what I'm going to do here is I want to get rid of this 3/4 and turn it into a 1. Well, to turn this into a 1, I know that I can multiply by its multiplicative inverse. I can multiply times 4/3. But if I multiply times 4/3 on this side, I have to do the other side times 4/3. So I'm going to rewrite this so it looks a little bit nicer. We've got 4/3 times 60 equals, I'm going to write the 4/3 at the beginning. 4/3 times 3/4 p. All right. I'm going to start over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to multiply these fractions. Let's see, 4 times 60, that's 240, over 3 times 1, which is 3, equals 4/3 times 3/4 is 1, because whenever I multiply multiplicative inverses, they always equal 1. So I'm left with 1p, which is exactly what I want. Now I've got to simplify this. Let's see. Both of these are divisible by 3. You're going to get 80 over 1, which is just 80, equals 1p. I can just write as the letter p. I don't need to have the 1 there. So we get p equals 80. Let's take a look at example 2. Negative 27 over 25x equals negative 9/5. Again, I want to turn this negative 27 over 25 into a 1. So I'm going to multiply by its multiplicative inverse to turn that into a 1. And I'm going to rewrite it down here. Let's see, multiplicative inverse is negative 25 over 27 times negative 27 over 25x equals negative 9/5 times, if I did this side times negative 25 over negative 27, got to do the other side times negative 25 over 27. Now remember, the reason that this is negative, the multiplicative inverse, is because my original one was negative. All right, these two are multiplicative inverses. When you multiply those, they equal 1. So we have 1x. Over here we've got 9 times 125. Oh, let's see, this is a negative fraction and a negative fraction. I know a negative times a negative is a positive. So let's see, 9 times 25 is 225 over 5 times 27. Let's see, I'm going to grab my calculator to help me with that one. We have 5 times 27. Oh, this calculator doesn't work. I'll do it over here. 27 times 5, that's 35. 10, 13, 135. And we could simplify this also, but I'm going to leave it like it is for now. 225 over 135. All right, go ahead and take a look at that last problem. All right, for this one, again, I want to turn this negative 2.7 in front of the t. I want to turn that into a 1. But in this case, it's not a fraction. I can't just multiply it times itself. So in order to turn this into a 1, since this is multiplication right here, negative 2.7 times t, I'm going to divide by negative 2.7 on both sides. Negative 2.7. Because if we have negative 2.7 divided by negative 2.7, that just equals 1t. Equals 810 divided by negative 2.7. It's going to be negative 300. Because a positive divided by a negative is going to be negative. So that means we just have t equals negative 300. All right, let's move on to the last example that we're going to do today. The last example has to do with percents, which we talked about a lot last year. It says Paula has read 70% of the total pages in a book she is reading for English class. Paula has read 84 pages. To find a variable, then write and solve an equation to determine how many pages are in the book. We're not going to write an equation, we're going to write a proportion, which is a type of equation. So let's see, if you remember from last year, it's percent over 100. The percent is 70 over 100 equals part over whole. So she's read 84 pages. We're trying to find how many are in the whole book. So it seems to me like 84 is the part. I'm going to use the variable b to talk about everything that's in the whole book. Now, if you remember from last year, we cross multiply, and we get 84 times 100 is 8,400, and that's going to be equal to 70b. I'm going to rewrite that over here so I can show my work. 8,400 equals 70b. Now here it's 70 times b. I want this to just be 1b to figure out how many pages are in one book. So I'm going to divide by that number. 70 divided by 70 is 1. So I got 1b equals 8,400 divided by 70 equals 120. So there are 120 pages in the entire book.